Good morning, everybody. How are we all doing? Sam here, United People's TV. It's Friday. It's been a long old week. The international break last time after Liverpool, that was a tough week after being spanked 3-0. And after the 0-0 against Villa and the uncertainty around Erik ten Hag, it's been another long week. Truth be told, Erik ten Hag, as far as we know, is absolutely preparing for Brentford business as usual. I'll have a little conversation about that. Not too much because, let's be honest, none of us know anything. And Ineos have kept their cards close to their chest after that board meeting that happened in London on Tuesday. Today I'm going to be speaking about Mazraoui and his heart surgery. Now that we've got confirmation, we know the facts. We can have a chat about it. All right. I got a bit annoyed yesterday because I think just the desire to be first is so much more important than the desire to be accurate. And that's just a big problem in how news is consumed these days. And we'll speak about Mazraoui, Martinez, Yoro, Malacia, Harry Amass, defensive concerns, and questions around that. We'll speak about, what else? Quite a lot about injuries, I'll be totally honest. So there might not be too much news when it comes to United this week. It's positive, but I think we're kind of used to that, right? Good morning to everyone who's here. Alex and Ant, good morning to both of you. Josh, you're there as well. JC, how you doing, buddy? Steve Brooks, you're there. We've got Tyrell, we've got Lyle, Steve, Stephanie and Haley, good morning to both of you, and Teresa as well. Yusuf, good morning to you. Matt Frost, how you doing, buddy? Charles, we've got, who else on Facebook? Chavula, and we've got John Lane. Good morning to all of you. As always, please fire in your questions, comments, anything you'd like me to speak about in the live show. I will try my best. It's Friday, so we're going to whip out the map later on. Don't forget that at 12 p.m, a special Beckham doc is going to be released on the channel. Really proud of that one. But first bit of news I want to speak about is this, right? Ollie. I think I've told you this a million times before. It hasn't changed. Ole Gunnar Solskjær is my favourite player from Manchester United from growing up. It was like if I was going to choose three, I would have chosen Solskjær, Giggs, and Beckham. They would have been my three. Anyway, Solskjær. Of course, he's been out of work since he left Manchester United. And a little bit of an interesting story came out from the Danish newspapers yesterday here, right? This is from Tipsbladet. It's a Danish outlet saying that Denmark had approached Ole Gunnar Solskjær about becoming the new head coach, but he said no. And the reason he said no is this. According to their information, Solskjær is in negotiations with a major club about a head coaching job, and he therefore did not want to enter into a job interview. So it may well be that at some point soon, we see Solskjær back in football, and I'd like that. Where do you reckon? Where's your guesses, right? So say it's a major club, so that can be, I mean, what's the definition of a major club? Somebody in one of the top 5 leagues, so England, Spain, France, Germany, Portugal? They the top 5? Don't know. Could be someone out in Turkey. What's your guesses? I've got no idea what I guess. Let's go Turkey. I'm going to guess Turkey. Besiktas, have they got new managers recently? I don't really know. I'd like to see him back in management, man. I mean, Solskjaer's coming nowhere near United, all right? My personal prediction would be that it wouldn't be the Premier League. I don't know where he'd come in the Premier League. Probably would have to be for one of the newly promoted teams, no? Maybe Dortmund? That'll be a job. Saudi, says Alex. Well, that's not really a major club, is it? Anyway, I don't want Solskjær to come back to Manchester United, right? I don't want any... Don't go back to your ex. And that applies to Ole as well. But it'll be good seeing him back in management. I'm looking forward to that. And Rodney's saying Sam put up a poll. I mean, look, there's about... how many clubs you can put around the world? No idea. But he's not come back to United. That's not what I'm suggesting. It's just I'm looking forward to seeing Ole back in management and hopefully in an environment and a football club that actually properly supports a manager. And it's not just about, I've told you this a million times, people just hear the word, is a manager being backed and supported as how much money is he getting? It's not been the issue at United. It's been everything around that. Now, I'll tell you what, despite the fact that we have got improved structure, it's not as if the results are improving this year. And Patrick Ancelotti went back to Madrid. Oh, great. You can pull out an anomaly. I see the winky face. I know what you're doing there. But look, this week has been all about, really, what are Ineos doing with Erik ten Hag? And on Monday, there was a meeting at Old Trafford. Ratcliffe was there, Joel Glazer was there, Alex Ferguson was there, Gary Neville was there. And that was about the regeneration project. That was about what are Manchester United doing with the new stadium. That happened on Monday. Then on Tuesday was when the board meeting happened in London. And we covered all of that. Ratcliffe was there, Barada, Ashworth, Brailsford, Wilcox, Roger Bell, who's the chief financial officer. So it's not as if it was just Erik ten Hag who was discussed. All of Manchester United as a whole was once a month full football board meeting. But of course, Erik ten Hag must have been the main topic of conversation. If it wasn't, then I'll be amazed. Now, I suppose we all expected to hear a decision either way. It wasn't that they were obligated to give one, but I think we just expected it to come out in the press, whether Ineos have decided to stick with Erik ten Hag for the time being, or whether they decided that now was the time where they wanted to part ways. And that's not happened. There's been nothing. So as far as we're concerned, Erik ten Hag is preparing for business as usual against Brentford. He went on a holiday, don't know how long for, don't know where. Is he already back in Carrington? No one has any idea. But he went away for a couple of days. Pretty normal. And it looks like Ten Hag's going to be in charge of Brentford. So tomorrow's video, I'm going to do, it's sort of and this is just going to be an opinion, a kind of a list of non-negotiables as far as I'm concerned over these next 7 games. Because if Erik ten Hag does indeed take charge against Brentford, I don't think it's, Ineos are just back to me here until the end of the season. It will be very much, Erik, there's another 7 games here before the next international break. Show us that development and show us that progress that we have been asking for, that you have been saying that will come, that is yet to be there. It really isn't a case, and I know Erik has said this a few times, it's not just a case of judge us at the end of the season. To a certain degree, it is, of course, you judge it at the end of the season. Where are you? Where did you finish? That's what you're ultimately going to be judged on. But the progress has to be seen. And I've explained to you in the videos before the international break of how I've begun to lose faith in Ten Hag and the system that we've got and the process that we are on. And maybe some of the players have as well. I can't speak for the players. But yeah, that's what the video tomorrow is going to be. Like a list of non-negotiables. I think maybe the non-negotiables is the wrong way to describe it. But a list of things I think that we have to see from here on in. If Erik ten Hag is going to be trusted and believed by Ineos that this progress is going to come. Yeah, and you're down there saying that much like some of our fans expect us to win everything, it's entitlement. I think it's just the scale of Manchester United. The fact that this meeting has happened, and I think just the fact that we all just expect it to come out in the press because that's what happens. That's what has happened before. Now, Ineos, when it came to Omar Barada, no one knew about that until it happened, and no one has heard a peep about this. There's no leaks anywhere. The information's been kept there, and any conversation that has or hasn't been had with Erik ten Hag, we don't know about it. So as far as I'm concerned, he's going to be in charge against Brentford. That's not guaranteed, but, well, he certainly isn't leaving at this point. Danny, I can see you down there, dude. Thank you very much, man. Who are the 5? You gifted 5 memberships. We've got DK, we've got Teklom, Hansi, and Tuomo. And VIP Football. What a lovely personal name. Joe saying, why are we always poor in the 3rd season? I've said this before. No United manager past Fergie has lasted 3 seasons at Manchester United. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjær was the longest lasting. Was it? I think it was. Oh, well, no one's made the third season. And can I just say, it's really good of Gareth Southgate to sort of rule himself out of the Manchester United job, isn't it? Anytime anybody's trying to sort of, I suppose, a bit of scaremongering. Oh, Southgate could be United manager. No. Never. Not at any point. Has it ever been a prospect? Ever? Oh, but, Dan Ashworth likes it. Oh, good. Yeah, great. Southgate has never been a possibility, and Southgate won't ever be a possibility. But at least we don't have to talk about it for a year now. No doubt that conversation will come up again in the future. Great. But anyway, Ten Hag looks like he's going to be in charge for Brentford. So next week, the build-up will be as usual, and I'll do videos around things that I want to see that, in my opinion, that kind of have to happen from now on. Right? Akash saying no manager post Fergie's completed a contract. Oh, yeah, no one's completed. Contract extension? Doesn't really count, does it? Doesn't really count. Someone down there speaking about England. Hey, ladies and gents, man, I do not care about watching England. Let alone the fact that there's no United players in that squad, which must be that must not have happened for a long old time. Obviously, Maguire's injured. Rashford's not in the squad. Mainoo's pulled out with injury. But when was the last time there was an England squad without a United player in it? And nah. Not watching England. Don't care. Got embarrassed last night. It was a weird system, I think. Didn't really watch it, so I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to the main talking point of today. And that's Noussair Mazraoui. Now, as I said at the start of the show, I got a little bit frustrated and annoyed that this conversation was happening yesterday off the back of just seemingly one Twitter account that just said Mazraoui's got cardiac arrhythmia and is going to be out for 2 months. And just people ran with it. Now, I said, look, there may well be some truth to this, but until there are sources and people that we trust saying it, hold your horses before you react. And now that's happened. This is from The Athletic. I'm going to run through what it is, and then we're going to have a conversation around injuries. Again, this is from The Athletic. Mazraoui has surgery after heart palpitations and hopes to be available in the next few weeks, from David Ornstein. Mazraoui's had minor surgery after experiencing heart palpitations and hopes to be available to play in the next few weeks. Pulled out of the Morocco squad with precaution. Subbed against Villa. Sources close to United and the player expect Mazraoui to make a full recovery from what is a relatively common condition following his corrective procedure. That's what we know, right? And I've seen other sources, I don't know if it was Telegraph or not, suggest that this is not a similar problem to what you had before and it's something different. Star-Lord saying how he passes medical. I don't know whether this is pre-existing. Frustrating bit for us is absolutely Mazraoui, of all the signings that we've made so far, Mazraoui is the one that has settled the quickest. Mazraoui is the one that's come to United and goes, okay, well, yeah, he can play for United. Looks comfortable, looks composed. Hasn't been perfect. I don't think any United player so far this season hasn't been perfect. But Mazraoui is going to be missing now for a few weeks. And on top of that, and I'll say these are whispers, these are murmurs, right, around Lisandro Martinez. And so you're seeing, look, just whispers coming out from Argentina that there's a physical concern with Martinez. You look at the Argentina squad last night. Martinez was left out the starting 11. He's been, as far as I remember, in most of their starting 11s in certainly the last couple of international breaks or times that he's linked up with Argentina, but left out of the squad completely. So we don't quite know. I would say it's more of an unknown with Martinez, but concerns, and I think all of us have had concerns about how Martinez has been playing this season. I think with Diogo Dalot really inverting as a fullback, it's left Martinez exposed on the channel, And a lot of the times he's being overly aggressive, and he seemingly has the thing. I think I said this on Twitter yesterday, but the thing that made Martinez so good in his first season was his timing. Just like the timing of when to engage, of when to lunge in, of when to step back was so bang on. And I think he's lost a bit of that timing this year. And as a consequence, his aggression looks overzealous. It's a problem. And now it's kind of left us with this list here, right? In terms of defensive injury concerns, questions, and problems. Mazraoui's out for a few weeks. We already know that. Maguire's out for a few weeks. We don't know how long that is. I think it was a hamstring injury he got against Villa. Pretty sure it was a hamstring injury. And you know that hamstring injuries can take... Well, Rasmus Højlund's was a hamstring injury that he got against Arsenal in the preseason. And that ruled him out for 6 weeks. We have no idea how long that Maguire one's going to be. Yoro, that's just an estimation. I did a video on Yoro 2 days ago. I would probably guess he's around about a month away from being available in a matchday squad. And then we look at the other ones. Martinez, there's concerns. It may well be that Martinez is totally fine when he comes back for the international break, but he'll just continue to get exposed, I think, if we don't drop that inverted fullback. And we did it. We dropped it against Villa, so it shows we can do it. It's a choice. And Luke Shaw and Malacia I mean, what's even the point in having a conversation about either of them? Honestly. Like Malacia, I don't mean that in a horrible way. Malacia is an athlete. He's always had a really good physique, but being an athlete versus being match fit and ready and available for Manchester United is very different. I mean, this is a guy who hasn't played for us. When was the last time that Malacia kicked a ball for United? Someone get me a date for that, because that's a mad date. Because it wasn't last season, and it hasn't been this far, and it hasn't been so far this season. So it must be like, I can't even think back that far. And we're seeing whispers and reports that Luke Shaw might be available after this international break. As I said, just don't even talk to me about Luke Shaw. Don't even talk to me about it. Steve, you're mentioning down there in the comments about a back three. I think I might do that as a Sunday video. Based off Gary Neville's comments, I don't really think it's a long-term solution, but it's a solution that I think could be discussed. Like maybe Malacia has just got the memo from Roy Keane saying, no, United needs to have more aggression. He's going to say, I've got you covered. I've got you covered. But yeah, we've got some injury problems. Now, what does that mean at left back? The big problem that we've had in this... I mean, we've had loads of problems, really. But I think the left-back problem is probably the most embarrassing for the club as a whole. If we really rewind, when we signed Malacia in the first... I'm going to try and figure this out in my head here. This could be a little bloody mini-doc unto itself, the amount of how mishandled this whole left-back situation has been. We signed Malacia in the first season. That was when Luke Shaw was there. And Luke Shaw was fit and playing, and Malacia was playing certain games, and it looked like we had Luke Shaw looks good, and also Malacia as a backup. I think we were all pretty happy with our choices at left back at that point. Then the injuries started kicking in for both of them. Was it the first? No, I don't think it was the first. Was it the first season? No, it wasn't. Those two had injury problems and across the course of that whole season, like in and out. Actually, no, I think it was only Malacia towards the end of the season, I think. Either way. We then signed Reguilon on loan. Was it a deadline day loan signing? It might have been. In the second summer. And that's when we sent, if I remember correctly, Alvaro Fernandez went out on loan to Granada. I think it was. And then, of course, that season kicked on. Malacia missed the pre-season with injury. No one really knew what was going on. And then he just disappeared into the background. No one knew what was going on with him. And then Luke Shaw, well, we know what happened with him. Playing well, injured, playing well, injured. Same old conversation with Luke Shaw. That's when That's when the conversation about Dalot as the inverted fullback began, because he switched over to the left-hand side. Wan-Bissaka was playing on the right-hand side, and that ended up being United's fullbacks. Then it got to January, and Erik ten Hag was told by the medical staff that Malacia and Shaw would definitely be fit for the second half of the season. So Alvaro Fernandez came back from the Granada loan and was sent out on loan again to Benfica. And Manchester United decided to cancel the Reguilón loan, and he went back to Spurs. I think he then went on loan again to Brentford, didn't he? And the medical staff was so completely and utterly wrong. Malacia didn't play for United at any point during the second half of the season, and Luke Shaw in and out with injuries. Dalot was playing there. We played Lindelof there at certain points, and it was just a travesty. And then you go into this summer. And Manchester United decided to sell Alvaro Fernandez. Now, I'm trying to think of the logic behind at that point in time. Why the club decided to do that. Erik ten Hag must have had, well, not just Erik ten Hag really. And it's not. This is more on the medical staff, if I'm being totally honest. More on the medical staff and more on. I suppose Erik ten Hag's definitely involved in it. But they clearly had belief or trust that Luke Shaw would be fit and available this season. I mean, that's my point. Like, don't even talk to me about Luke Shaw anymore. His body has let him down. He's unfortunately one of those elite level footballers with a body just... Right? So they trusted that Luke Shaw would come back, and they trusted that Malacia would be fit, and neither of them have been fit. And again, this whole season now, we've been left so short at fullback. And Mazraoui has obviously started every game, and Dalot started every game, and now you take Mazraoui out. So I just spoke there about 4 minutes. It was the Alvaro Fernandez one stings for sure. I don't know whether United would have been able to keep him happy at the club if he was kept. If he wasn't sold and he was kept, as maybe we wouldn't have been able to. If he was kept and he was told, well, you're going to be third. Like, we've got Luke Shaw, we've got Malacia, and we've got Fernandez. I don't think he would have been like, yeah, all right, okay, I'll stay there. He wants to play regular football. So I question whether we could have kept him happy. But, I mean, having him at the club now, geez. MUFC, JJS, you're not the only one who thinks that. If there was a World Cup round the corner, Luke Shaw would be fit. I think Luke lost a lot of support from United fans when, despite not playing since February, he made himself fit for the Euro 2024 final and then hasn't kicked a ball for United. That's rightly pissed off a lot of United fans. Either way, it's been an abomination at left back. And the conversation now comes around Harry Amass. Now, Harry Amass, if we take a quick look at this, right? It's so stupid, this website. Harry Amass has been playing with United's under-21s. His last few appearances down here, you can see. Played against Liverpool on the 6th. Played against Hertha Berlin. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he's been consistently playing with the under-21s this season. Now, we saw an article, I think it was from The Athletic, that said, as it stands, Erik ten Hag doesn't see Harry Amass as physically ready for first-team Premier League football. And Bubai down there saying, why wouldn't we promote some youth left-back from our academy? And I'll tell you one big reason why I will never be an advocate. Look, why part of me will never be an advocate for bringing through youth players in environments like this, because there's so many United fans that will just say, give him a chance, now's the time, put him in, and as soon as he has a poor performance, those same fans will absolutely jump on him. And he will be given zero time for settling in, zero time for embedding, and within a game or two, if he doesn't play well, will become a problem and you want to boot him out of the team. I'm telling you that would happen, right? That would 100% happen. And that's why it's always good. there's always part of me that won't ever like the idea of giving an academy prospect a chance because the team's doing crap. Because you bring youngsters into that environment, it's a high pressure situation. Whereas if you're winning 3 or 4-0 and then you can bring a youngster on, then that's an environment to bring them in. There's less pressure, far softer introduction. Bringing Harry Amass in right now, when Manchester United have got such major problems really at left back, I'm telling you, be very quick for fans to turn on him. That being said, I really don't want to see Victor Lindelof anywhere near left back. I'm getting heart palpitations thinking about that. That cannot happen. Can't remember what game it was last season where he tried. Fair enough, he tried. But no, sod that. So what do you think? Like, say, for example, all of these concerns are correct. Okay? And Mazraoui's out for a few weeks. Maguire's out. Shaw's still not fit. Malacia is not fit. Who would you start at left back against Brentford? Now, bear in mind, Harry Amass, last season, we signed him from Watford and he played for our under-18s. He's only played 7 or 8 times for the under-21s. It's a big old leap. I'm not saying that it would be completely impossible for Amass to come in and go, "Oh, we've got a star straight away." I'm saying largely it's rare. And it's even more rare with defenders. And I think I've said this before. I can't remember the last academy player who came through Manchester United, last defensive player who came through Manchester United's academy and properly cemented himself as a first-team regular. Like Twanzebe had his moments. Fosu Mensah had some games. And I'm sure there are others you can throw into the mix. But none who have settled in the same way that Mainu has settled as a central midfielder for us, or in the same way that Garnacho has settled. People saying Anthony is a left wing back. Anthony will just be pissed off. Collier could play that. Where was it that Collier... Was it Barnsley? Might have been, but I can't remember if it was Barnsley. Delow at left back, Lindelof at right back. Leela, you're probably right in that. You're probably right in that. It's grim. It's grim. People are going down there saying about Wes Brown, O'Shea, Johnny Evans, Neville Brothers. You can go that far back. Yeah, I know you can. But my point here is that despite how incredible our academy, and there are so many good prospects, even at younger ages, coming through, just the United's academy system is so strong right now. Defensively, yeah, Willie Cambuela, he came good. He did well last season as he came through. What was it, like a 5th choice? But yeah, fair play to him. And he had a massive injury concern for a year as well. That's a good example. But I think my point here is that largely it's harder for defenders to come through academy systems, certainly at Manchester United. I can't speak for any other clubs, and establish themselves in the first team. Move Lisandro Martinez to left back and Evans central defence. Well, that's an option as well. I think these are options that we can discuss and run through. But unfortunately, certainly Manchester United injury concerns. Did someone just say Paddy McNair in the comments? Oh, you want to give me PTSD again? Anytime anybody speaks about it, sorry, Louis. I'd love to have a drink with Louis van Gaal. I'm sure he's a great guy. But him as a United manager, boy. That was at a time when we had like Paddy McNair, Cameron Borthwick-Jackson. If I remember correctly, he made his debut for United away at Anfield. I think after Luke Shaw got injured after like 15 minutes. And he came on. He was actually quite good. Cameron Borthwick-Jackson, Paddy McNair, Tyler Blackett. How many? Donald Love. Jeez. That's like one of those pub quiz questions. How many youth team players can you name that Louis van Gaal gave debuts to? Ethan Laird. I think he got sold to... Was it a championship team? I think it was. Can't remember. Yeah, I know why Louis van Gaal played youngsters. But anyway, it's different. So some people are saying 3 at the back. Some people are saying Lisandro Martinez left back and Dalot right back. Some people are saying Anthony. Some people are saying there's quite a few options. Josh Harrop. Did a little short video on Josh Harrop. Who was it he scored against? Was it Norwich? I think he scored on his Old Trafford debut at the end of the season, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we did a little short video on him. I love doing stuff like that, like players you kind of forget about. Love the ability to make more content like that. Anyway, my personal prediction would be that Harry Amass wouldn't come into the team. And this is the thing, I'd understand the frustrations about that, given the fact that he looks like such a good prospect, but I also understand the reservations around putting him in, and especially into an environment where we're struggling. You go back to the class of 92 and why it works so well. Yeah, sure, we had Beckham and Scholes and Butt and all of our youngsters coming through in the class of 92, but we also had Cantona. We also had Keane. We also had Bruce. We also had the most ridiculous characters and leaders on the pitch at a time when United were winning the league. And that's why those players were able to establish themselves and felt comfortable and safe in an environment, because they got the leaders around them. United are doing well. Cool, this is a time to shine. Bringing in a left back right now, left back is probably the single position which has the most scrutiny at Manchester United. Left back and striker. They're the 2 positions where United, there's a big spotlight on them. So it will be a very, very tough environment to bring him in. Maybe he'll get trusted. Maybe he won't. I don't personally think he will right now. But if he isn't, I have concerns about the senior players, equally as so. Collier may well play there. He played there once. I think it was against Barnsley. I can't remember. Anyway, let's move on to speak about another youngster. Okay, Chido Obi-Martin. He's been confirmed now as a Manchester United player last week. He signed his contract. We saw the photos. We saw him with Erik Cantona. Happy days. I've already done a video on him, and he's a goal scorer. Now, his profile's been added to the United Academy pages. Interestingly, I think it must just be an age thing because he's 16. He's gone to the under-18s, and Sekou Kone's gone to the under-21s list. But anyway, Obi-Martin's there. Samuel Lascelles was a serious throw. He's there as well. And this is just a little video that Obi-Martin published yesterday. Oh, let me just get rid of that music. Of him training at Carrington. You can see here, left foot finishes, right foot finishes. Let's go nice and full screen so you can see it properly, all right? A nice variety of finishes from him here. Takes the ball. Nice. I really like watching 2-footed finishes, man. Jeez. Nice left-footed finish there. I think he skins both of them here. Oh, that little dink. We like that. We like that indeed. But Obi-Martin, right, is a prospect that all of us are very excited to see. A ridiculous goal scorer for Arsenal's under-18s last season. What was it, 30 goals he got for them? 40 goals? I can't even remember how many goals he bloody got. Either way, it was a lot. He's now officially joined, and at some point soon, I would imagine he's going to make his under-21s debut. James, yeah, this is the big question that you've got to ask around Chido Obi-Martin in terms of his development, right? Clearly, he's a natural goal scorer. He knows the angles. He can use his left foot. He can use his right foot. Finishing, all completely normal to him. He's got a massive physical advantage. So it has so far throughout his career. Was he like 6 foot? He's bloody massive, all right? So physically, he's dominant versus most under-18s teams. Will that translate across to senior football? Well, I suppose we'll find out when we play senior football. And that's why it's important that he plays under-21s. Plays against older, stronger defenses and gets used to it and sees if that translates across. Now, we have no idea the scale and the speed of his development, right? But I'm just looking forward to watching it. I'm looking forward to watching Obi-Martin play for the under-21s. I'm looking forward to Sekou Kone making his debut for the under-21s as well. Looking forward to seeing Samuel Lascelles, James Overy. It's good. And as bad as... I might even do like a little mini-doc on this. Like, as bad as Manchester United have been this season, the first team, as soon as you look past the first team and you look at the under-21s, the under-18s, even the under-16s, there's so much excitement. I suppose it's part of the unknown, isn't it? It's looking at a player there and going, wow, that's a real prospect. And there are some mega prospects there. And Josh, you can see trolling me down there. I shouldn't ever live this down, to be honest, about James Wilson. That one time when I said Harry Kane, we can't sign Harry Kane because it will stunt James Wilson's growth. I've had some bad takes before. That's the worst one. Guilty. All right. Of course, the women's team as well, Vicky. How are the women's team getting on this year? I actually don't know. I really should know. Remember at 12 p.m. here today, ladies and gents, the Beckham mini doc. Really, this is kind of a slightly different one that we've done before. It's got an editing style which is, I think it makes it feel more premium. And that's what I'm aiming for with these videos. They're much higher quality. They take a long time to produce, a long time to research, to script. But I think it will make for a compelling bit of lunchtime viewing. All right, so that's going to be going out at 12 p.m. today. Frogman, you're saying you feel good enough, you're old enough. I agree with that to a certain point, but at Manchester United right now, the scrutiny is so intense that to expose a youngster to that, they have to be ready for it, right? They have to be ready for it. There are so many players that we've seen that have been huge prospects and that haven't been able to translate that to first team football. And sometimes it's because they're rushed a little bit too much. It's not that there's only like with Harry Amass, if hypothetically, if he was to come in and have a poor couple of games, it doesn't mean that his chances are written off, but it sets him back. I'm not saying that any academy players only got one chance to establish themselves in the first team, but first impressions are massive. And Harry is only 18, right? I don't know what that sound was outside. That's some mad boy racers out there these last couple of days. On what they're driving. I need to move house. Looking forward to it at some point. It's Friday, so I'll do the map now. If you can, please do drop a like on the video. And as I said always, like we got the Beckham mini doc coming out now. We're working on a soonest one, which is a follow-up to the media video. We're also working in the background on a Keane one, which I'm really looking forward to doing. And if there's any others like that, let me know which ones you want me to do. All right? Not in the comments now, because I won't be able to read it. But just reach out on Discord, tag me on there, whatever you want to do. Okay? Let's pull the map up. All right? Anybody who has only just joined in now, first of all, where have you been? Second of all, let me know where you're watching from, the city and the country, and I'll add you onto the map. We've got 684 points on this map now, which is crazy. At some point, we're going to get to 1,000. Not too far away. I wonder how long that will take. 3 a day, that's 100 days. So 3 months from now? Well, maybe not 3 a day. Well, it's 3, but it's not every day of the week. Anyway, 100 days. What's that? 20 weeks. Someone figure that one out. Right, we've got Lyle watching from Randburg in South Africa. Don't know what that is. Randburg, Joburg. Randburg, Joburg. We've got Maradona, not that Maradona, watching from Mbeya in Tanzania. Awesome. On the map you go, sir. Or madam, I don't quite know. We've got Treasy watching from Glasgow. Scotland. I'm sure Glasgow must be on there already. Let's get one more. Sod it. It's Friday. Let's get one from Facebook. Got Oscar watching from Blantyre in Malawi. Blantyre. That sounds like someone in Ireland. Let's go to Blantyre. Right, that's 4 of you added onto the map. Wicked. And JC, man, you're a ledge. JC's just gifted 10. I haven't pressed any of these buttons in ages. Nah. Let's go for a little quiet gong. Feels like that sort of week, doesn't it? This week's been just a drag, isn't it? I've tried to have conversations as much as I can. I think there were 2 days where I didn't do a video, and that's very rare for me. I'm always able to spot something and a conversation and a talking point that I think is worthy of making a video from, and they're the lunchtime videos. This week, it hasn't been that case at all. Everybody switched off, understand why, and I wish I could have switched off. Maybe at some point we'll be able to have a little break in the international breaks, but not quite yet. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you please do watch the Beckham video. It's going to go out in just over an hour. All right, I'll ping you all on Discord as well, because if you drop a like on that video and you leave a comment, it really helps that video get shown to a wider audience. So that's what I would just encourage you all to do, okay? Wayne, there's definitely something coming on Paul Scholes, right? There's definitely something coming on Paul Scholes at some point, but not yet, all right? So much love. I'll see you all on Monday. Video going out today on Beckham. There'll be a video tomorrow. There'll be videos at the weekend, all right? Have a cracking one. Looks sunny outside, but it's cold as hell. Winter's here.